Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are plunging headfirst into a conflict that is so intense, so strategically complex, it almost makes you dizzy.
It really does.
We're in the Northern Plains, and we're watching the brutal final gauntlet of the imperial court contest. And this is all happening against this absolute deadline. The legendary 10-year blizzard is coming.
And this isn't just some friendly competition, this is a culling mechanism. It's centuries old, set up by giant son Immortal Venerable.
Right.
And it has two really selfish goals. First, make sure his own bloodline stays strong and competitive. And second, just systematically weaken all the other big tribes by forcing them to tear each other apart for a chance to get into the Blessed Land.
So our mission for this deep dive is to really analyze the source material for this final dramatic arc.
Wow.
We're going to be tracking the Hay Tribe Alliance, which is led by the ambitious and pretty ruthless Hay Lu Lan.
Definitely ruthless.
But we're really focusing on the emergence of the true powerhouse here, the mysterious Wolf King Chang Shan Yin.
Who, as we know, is our guy, Feng Yuan, just wearing this identity like a mask.
So the goal is total victory. The prize is entry into the imperial court Blessed Land, which has these immense resources and, the real prize access to the 88 Tree Yang building.
Exactly. So we're going to chart how Feng Yuan just completely manipulated this entire conflict. He plays He Lulan, he dodges the strategic genius Dongfeng Yuliang, he weathers the brute force of Lu Wenwu.
And he turns all of it into a personal power-up.
A personal accelerator for his own power, yeah. And it all culminates in this overwhelming destruction of the Ma tribe.
It's just this perfect storm of politics, power, and personal ambition. Okay, so let's unpack this. When we look at Feng Yuan's early moves as the Wolf King, it's pretty clear he's not just fighting this war. He's fighting a future war, His priority isn't the enslavement path that everyone sees. It's secretly cultivating the strength path. So what specific, physical groundwork did he lay before any of this even kicked off?
The preparation was absolute. He understood that pure enslavement, while it's great for military dominance, leaves your own body just dangerously fragile.
Oh, you're a glass cannon.
Totally. Especially if he's planning to use these high-rank strength path killer moves. So his key move was consuming the turtle jade wolf skin go.
And this isn't some common item.
Not at all. It's a very specialized defensive goo. When he activates it, his skin turns this dense jadish green color, and you can see these faint sort of geometric lines on it, almost like a turtle shell.
So he's literally hardening his chassis, so to speak.
Exactly. He's preparing his body to withstand internal strain. The sources are really specific about this. It was all preparation for refining and then activating the rank 4 all-out effort go.
Which is critical for his strength path.
Critical, but using it over and over puts a tremendous amount of stress on the body. So without that turtle jade wolf skin foundation, he risked just injuring himself badly just from practicing.
So he's investing in a defense that doesn't help his public image as the Wolf King at all.
Nope. But it's absolutely vital for his hidden goals.
And the incredible pressure he was under at this time.
Yeah.
The sources call them the Great Headaches. It just makes his focus on this dual cultivation even more astonishing.
It's an insane balancing act.
He's basically running a crisis management firm while leading an army.
Think about the scope of it. He is hundreds of thousands of miles away from his home base, a mortal blessed land, but he has to keep control of it. He's dealing with these powerful cross-regional sects like Immortal Crane sect.
We are actively trying to break in and take his land.
Right. And at the same time, he needs to recover these critical immortal, God-fixed immortal travel and the corrosive Gruul Hud.
The Gruul Mud is the real ticking clock here, isn't it?
It absolutely is. Dang Hun Mountain, which is the cornerstone of his entire soul cultivation, his foundation, is actually being corroded by this Gruul Mud.
So if he doesn't fix that soon.
His greatest resource is gone. Forever. So while he's out here, commanding 500,000 wolves in a mortal tournament, his mind is actually on escaping Gu Immortals, recovering his assets, and stopping his soul foundation from literally dissolving.
He's operating with the perspective of a 500-year-old immortal, not just some Northern Plains warrior.
Exactly. Which makes all these mortal schemes against him feel almost, insulting to him, but they're still incredibly lethal to anyone else.
And that brings us right to the Dongfeng Gambit, the direct clash between this supreme wisdom path expert, Dongfeng Yuliang, and our supposedly pure enslavement master, the Wolf King.
Dongfeng Yuliang is a rank 5 genius. a genuine master of the wisdom path. He doesn't need brute force, he uses deduction, and he immediately zeroes in on Fang Yuan's biggest vulnerability,
Which is?
the enslavement master's total dependency on his core goo and his soul stability. So he employs the classic beheading the leader tactic.
But he doesn't do it himself. He subcontracts it to the best in the business.
Precisely. He schemes with this elite assassin, shadow sword expert, Bian Sichuan. She's a supreme expert, known for lethal precision. And at the time, she's actually looking for the overlapping shadow goo to make her attacks even more concentrated, so the dedication to taking him out was absolute.
The attack happens while Fang Yuan is in seclusion, supposedly recovering, and she lands the critical blow, right, afflicting him with this brain explosion too.
She does.
So how did Fang Yuan, who's isolated and supposedly resting, manage to counter a successful direct hit from a wisdom path scheme?
This is just a perfect illustration of his cynical foresight. He escapes not because of physical defense, but because he immediately executes a prepared transfer of ownership.
What does that mean?
He hands the rank 4 wolf enslavement goo, the very thing the assassination was targeting, to a relatively minor rank 3 gump master named Tu Bo. Someone loyal, but ultimately, disposable.
Wait, I need clarification here. Why does just handing off the gum redirect the attack?
Because Dongfang's deduction wasn't targeting Fang Yuan's body, it was targeting the controller through the critical goo worm that leads the army.
Okay.
The brain explosion goo, launched by Bian Sichuan, it was tracking the essence, the ownership link, of that specific goo. So when Fang Yuan transfers ownership to Tu Bo, in that instant, Tu Bo becomes the primary controller in that location.
So the incoming attack just follows the link.
Follows the link and detonates inside Tu Bo, killing him instantly and absorbing the full force of the attack.
So he didn't just use him as a physical shield, he used him as a soul redirection anchor. That is incredibly cold, even for this universe.
It confirms his utter ruthlessness. For Fang Yuan, mortal allies are just expendable tools. Now, the assassination attempt was highly successful in one way. Bian Sichuan reports back that the Wolf King was hit by a soul explosion and was, quote, basically crippled.
But the sources make it clear that while it slowed him down, it wasn't a fatal blow. Why did Dongfang's otherwise perfect induction fail to cripple him for good?
The failure was all about incomplete information. Dongfang could calculate the immediate soul weakness of an enslavement master, sure, but he couldn't possibly account for Fang Yuan's real hidden foundation.
His time on Danghun Mountain.
Exactly. The attack only chipped away at his surface soul strength. It completely missed the massive, protected, 1,000-man soul foundation he'd built using resources and methods that are just inaccessible to anyone in the Northern Plains.
So this whole thing confirms two things for him.
It does. One, the sheer lethality of wisdom path schemes, and two, the absolute necessity of keeping the existence and status of Danghun Mountain a complete secret. If that foundation were ever fully exposed, he'd be instantly vulnerable to fatal attacks.
The assassination attempt and his cynical counter, it forces him into even more isolation. We see this right away with the political maneuvering around the Blood Oath Alliance banquet.
Oh yeah, he plays the aloof genius perfectly. He only shows up when he's absolutely forced to when the Blood Oath is being formalized.
But Heilulan needs him desperately.
He does. The Wolf King commands this immense specialized army. He's recently added water wolves and vermilion flame wolves to his usual night, wind, and turtleback wolf groups. Heilulan is planning to use this massive 500,000-strong wolf army as his spearhead. He's expecting them to just absorb most of the casualties.
And Fang Yuan sees this role, the cannon fodder, the one who takes all the hits, and he just accepts it. He accepts the isolation and the fear for the other tribes. Why?
Because he sees this entire imperial court struggle not as a political conquest, but purely as a jumping board.
A jumping board to what?
To his own power. He isn't looking for political power or tribal prestige. His priority is maximizing personal cultivation time and accelerating his resource accumulation. He accepts that Heilulan is suppressing him because it gives him the perfect cover to just retreat and focus on his own stuff, rather than wasting time on, minor battle merits that mean nothing compared to an immortal goo.
And his seclusion pays off almost right away with a huge, successful refinement.
Yes, the critical acquisition. Successfully refining the rank 4 all-out effort go. This is a major hurdle for him. And because this goo is from the Northern Plains, it's not subject to any regional suppression.
But it wasn't easy.
No. The source notes it was incredibly difficult. He failed 3 times before finally succeeding on the 4th attempt.
That failure rate, even for a rank 4 go, really underscores the mental fatigue and the complex prep he was under, especially while also maintaining the body refinement for the turtle jade wolf skin go.
Which, as we said, doesn't even directly help his main enslavement path.
Right, that dedication to dual cultivation while his life is at risk on so many fronts is just astonishing.
It shows his unique vision. He's preparing for rank 6 and beyond, while everyone else is still focused on just reaching rank 5 peak. His actions are not guided by mortal concerns.
Okay, so with the prep phase done, the massive military conflict with the Dongfang tribe escalates, and Dongfang Yuliang uses his wisdom path knowledge brilliantly to set the stage. He even manages to lure the powerful Zhao tribe away from the alliance.
That was a key strategic win for him. The sources highlight that the young Zhao Lianyan, who becomes very important later, actually played a part. She used this persuasive, simple rhetoric about a tiger, wolf, and sheep dynamic.
Basically convincing the Zhao leader that He tribe was just going to eat them later.
Exactly. And by isolating He tribe, Dongfang forces them into this defensive, attrition-heavy battle.
And Dongfei's military strategy is all about defense in depth.
Absolutely. The northern plains are vast and open. Winning one battle doesn't mean much if the enemy can just regroup. So Dongfang relies on these multiple, deeply layered defensive lines. It's a slow grind designed to bleed Heilu land dry.
This whole battle was really a demonstration of wisdom path offense.
It really was. Dongfang was fully committed. He unleashes his ultimate killer move, the Seven Starlights.
Describe the impact of that move. What did it actually do to Hei's forces?
It was devastating. The Seven Starlights appeared as this massive swirling cloud of star thoughts. It applied this overwhelming pressure to the He tribe commanders. It slaughtered their elite troops. The source specifically mentions the Blue Butterfly troop being crushed.
And this cost him.
A lot. Dongfang was sacrificing years of his own lifespan. The sources confirm at least 2 years lost in this desperate gambit to force the Wolf King out and eliminate the threat.
So Dongfeng is betting everything on forcing Fang Yuan's hand. But Fang Yuan, the man he's trying to force out, is just practicing calculated inaction.
He watches the chaos unfold and just lets Heilu Land's troops take the brunt of it. Fang Yuan refuses to expose his strength early or use his specialized wolves as simple cannon fodder.
He knows Heilu Land wants him to burn through his resources.
Of course. But Fang Yuan's long-term goal-getting in Immortal Guy is way more important than saving some of He tribe's troops. He only moves when the opportunity is perfect. He waits until Dongfang's defensive lines are strategically vulnerable and all they need is just brute, overwhelming force.
Which he then provides.
Oh, yes. He sacrifices 280,000 wolves, a staggering number, but one he can afford. And his forces just shatter Dongfang's fortress in 15 minutes.
Victory.
Victory is secured, but Dongfang, ever the strategist, uses his own retreat as a final weapon.
The sources mention the charred thunder potato go.
Yeah.
What was that final act of sabotage?
Dongfang knew Heilu Lan would delay his pursuit to gather his army and resources. He used that delay to strategically plant vast numbers of these charred thunder potato go along the retreat path.
They're like landlines.
Dormant, timed explosives, exactly. When they activated, they detonated, killing huge numbers of unsuspecting He tribe Gu masters who thought they were safe on their victory march. Dongfang turned retreat into a massacre. It was a masterclass in tactical malice.
So despite all that chaos, the casualties, Fang Yuan, the Wolf King, for a moment, sits at the very top of the mortal power structure.
He's ranked #1 on the battle merit board. He's got over 100,000 merits, mostly just from the sheer number of enemies his wolves wiped out. But this status, it lasts for maybe a few minutes.
Because this is where he pulls that incredibly shocking signature move of his.
Resource hoarding disguised as bankruptcy.
He immediately liquidates everything. What was on the shopping list that was so important, he had to risk public shame.
It was a shopping list for his future immortal path. He targeted 3 main areas. First, Strength Path Go. He got high-rank alternatives like the rank 4 Charging Crash Go.
Because the original Strength Kigu was extinct in the Northern Plains.
Right. Second, he grabbed Space Path Go for defense, because he realized his new flying method would leave him exposed.
And the third area, the items for his soul, are the most telling about his long-term fears.
Absolutely. He bought the rank 5 Refined Essence Spirit Goo. This is critical. It was the Dongfang tribe's secret goo, used specifically to heal the soul after heavy wisdom path deduction.
He knows he's going to need that.
He knows he'll be doing immense deductions in the future, and this goo lets him instantly mitigate the damage. He also got the complex recipe for nauseous crying baby goo, highly specialized formula designed to counter the 3 hearts combination's soul killer move.
a technique he knew would be used against him later. So he's buying future-proofing tools for his soul and a counter to his rival's ultimate attack.
Yes, but the cost was just astronomical. To cover all these rare items, he had to borrow a massive 800,000 battle merits.
And this is the part that is just visually shocking. He goes from first place to dead last overnight. His name is on the board in scarlet text. Negative 500,000 battle merits. That's a huge political liability. Why take that public humiliation?
It's a brilliant three-pronged strategy. First, he secured indispensable high-rank goo and recipes that would have vanished from the market if he'd waited.
Okay, that makes sense.
Second, being spectacularly in debt gives him the perfect, unassailable excuse to stay isolated and refuse to join any more campaigns. I mean, who would demand a guy with 500,000 negative merits to risk his army?
So he's leveraging public scorn to buy himself critical cultivation time.
Precisely. And the third point is the sheer arrogance of it. It's a message to, hey, Lulan, I care so little for your mortal contest that I will break the bank for what I need, and you still can't afford to punish me. He's controlling the political narrative through pure disdain.
While Feng Yuan is enjoying his calculated seclusion, the next big challenger shows up. The Lu tribe, led by Lu Wenwu. And their strength isn't in big armies, it's in overwhelming individual power.
The Lu tribe is built on individual experts. Guys like Mo Shiquang and Ouyang Bisang rank 4 peak experts who regularly fight at a rank 5 level. He tribe starts taking heavy losses in these high-level duels, which is the one area where Feng Yuan's wolf army can't really help.
So He Lulan is getting desperate for something to shift the balance.
And his prayers are answered by the arrival of a legend, the benevolent time path master, Tai Bai Yunsheng.
This is a monumental shift.
Huge. Tai Bai Yunsheng is this highly respected elderly figure known all over the Northern Plains for his compassion and his healing. He Lulan's backers, the Gu Immortals, managed to recruit him. He joins He tribe and he brings his massive reputation and, critically, his rank 5 time path Gu.
And his entrance isn't quiet, it's devastating for the other side.
Within hours of joining, he proves his worth. Gu tribe, one of the smaller alliances, had built this massive, almost impregnable mountain fortress. Tai Bai Yunsheng just uses the rank 5 mountain as before Gu and destroys it.
That Gu can restore landform to a previous state, right?
Yes. It essentially reverts the mountain back to how it was before it was fortified. He didn't bomb it, he erased its history.
Wow.
This single act instantly stabilizes He tribe's morale, and his immense prestige puts him at the top of the battle merit list, which just further isolates the Scarlet in Debt Wolf King, which, again, suited Feng Yuan perfectly.
We also get this fascinating internal political moment here. Feng Yuan, in a super brazen display, publicly assaults his internal critic, the cunning gentleman Sun Shihan.
Sun Shihan was constantly criticizing the Wolf King's strategy, his isolation, his debt. Feng Yuan's response was immediate and physical. He beat the critic into the ground and forced him to faint in public.
This wasn't just rage, was it?
Not at all. It was a clear political signal. Do not question my strategy, do not interfere with my family, and do not think He Lulan can control me.
And He Lulan, despite being furious, is forced to let it happen.
He had no choice. The balance of power had shifted so dramatically that even a public assault on one of his own commanders was a political necessity to keep the alliance stable. He knew if he punished the Wolf King, he'd lose his army, and that would mean total defeat.
But the real game changer in this entire arc is when the Lu tribe tries to use their combined power to break He's defense for good.
This is the critical turning point before the climax. The Lu tribe's 3 core brothers unleash their ultimate combined soul attack, the 3-head 6-arms killer move.
And it works.
It's a devastating technique. They use it to viciously kill one of He's key reinforcements, Zhu Zai. This should have sealed Lu tribe's dominance in duels and guaranteed them a win through attrition.
But Tai Bai Yunsheng intervenes with the miracle.
The miracle of time path healing. Tai Bai Yunsheng uses the rank 5 healing Gu, as before. This Gu instantly revives Zhu Zai. It restores him completely to his peak essence, peak mental state, 0 injuries, all his Gu worms back, ready to fight again.
Both sides must have been stunned.
Utterly.
The significance of this can't be overstated. This one Gu just fundamentally changes the rules of war for high-ranked masters.
It renders attrition useless. Before, the goal of a duel was to permanently eliminate your enemy's strength. And now, as long as Tai Bai Yunsheng is there and has primeval essence, losing a duel is just a temporary delay. He tribe now has unprecedented endurance. They can just weather any storm until Fang Yuan is ready to deliver the knockout blow. It's the ultimate strategic defense.
So with attrition off the table, the contest quickly narrows down to the 5 major contenders: He, Nuer, Yang, Ma, and Yilui. And at this stage, the moral struggle becomes just a proxy war for their immortal backers.
The lines of influence are completely transparent now. The Ma tribe openly asks for help from the demonic path Gu immortal Su Songzi, who operates out of Snowy Mountain.
And he sends help.
He sends the highly specialized Snowman Battle Troop D, a powerful, unique force.
And the He tribe's Gu immortals He Cheng and He Bai, they respond in kind. And in doing so, they inadvertently strengthen their most terrifying mortal pawn.
They purchase massive numbers of mutated wolves, thinking they're securing victory for their tribe by bolstering the Wolf King's army. But crucially, they buy these wolves through Fang Yuan's own logistical network.
Which means his Little Hu Immortal Blessed Land profits from the deal.
Yes. Fang Yuan is leveraging his own Gu immortal rivals to fund his war chest. It's supply chain warfare where the puppet master is selling supplies to the puppeteers.
This sets the stage for the final decisive confrontation against the Ma tribe. They were relying on the combined might of 3 enslavement masters, right?
Right. Ma Zun, Yang Po Ying, and Zhang Baoya, commanding this huge mixed army of rats, eagles, and horses.
This is the moment Fang Yuan had been building toward.
It is. He drops his suppression and reveals his true, frightening cultivation base. Rank 5 peak stage. He got there through relentless refinement and the staggering resources he got from his debt scheme and the Gu immortals. The shockwave through the battlefield must have been palpable.
But the true game breaker is the army he reveals. It wasn't just his cultivation he was hiding.
No, his troop numbers are terrifying. Fang Yuan reveals a colossal 1.56 million wolves.
1.56 million.
The combined forces of the Ma tribe's 3 enslavement masters could only muster about 740,000 mixed beasts. The contrast is just overwhelming.
The enemy commanders must have been stunned.
They were, openly questioning how the wolf group grew so vast so quickly, not understanding that their own rivals had been unwittingly funding Fang Yuan's expansion with immortal-grade resources.
That massive numerical superiority alone would guarantee a win. But Fang Yuan doesn't just rely on numbers. He takes to the air. He leverages his new dual path to personally decapitate the command structure.
This is the debut of the true destructive power he'd been hiding. He deploys his master-level flying skill, using the Eagle Rays Gu, and combines it with the Rank 5 Amplify Effect Gu to boost his physical attacks. He then unleashes his new adapted strength path killer move, Forearm Earth King.
I remember you said that move was flawed for aerial use. How did he compensate?
He adapted on the fly. The original move was for ground combat. It relied on stability. For flight, he temporarily swapped out key components, using the Wind Overlord Gu for greater aerial support, which let him channel strength efficiently mid-air.
And the result?
The resulting physical strength reached an astronomical 800 June. To put that in perspective for you, most Rank 5 masters might be lucky to hit a few dozen Jun of force. 800 is basically a localized, tactical natural disaster.
And the sources describe an absolute rampage. He just targets the enemy leaders first.
Zero hesitation. He charges directly into Eagle King Yang Po Ying's defense, tears through his Thunder Eagles, kills the Flying Master Wu Ye in the process. Then he faces one of the Ma tribe's heaviest hitters, Cheng Long, who has this 3-clawed, golden-horned giant dragon killer move. Fang Yuan crushes him in a single brutal move, literally tears off his broken dragon horn as a trophy before moving on.
So he's using his army to pin down the enemy grunts while his personal strength path just executes the commanders.
Precisely. He lands near the Ma tribe leader, Ma Zun, and leverages both paths, enslavement breaking the formation, strength path crushing the command, and forces Ma Zun's death. The psychological impact of watching their strongest experts get annihilated by one flying guy while you're being drowned by wolves, it was instant and absolute.
The Rat King, Zhang Baoya, one of the 3 enslavement masters, immediately flees.
His will to fight was completely shattered. He suffered the backlash of his poison vow just for trying to run, which confirms that Fang Yuan's terrifying dominance had just broken his nerve. Ma tribe collapses, and in the chaos, their supreme leader, Ma Shangfeng, is assassinated by Pan Ping.
A total victory. He tribe wins, securing the path to the Blessed Land. He Lulan, having officially won, leads the survivors toward the massive light gate.
And Feng Yuan is the second person to enter, solidifying his role not as a subordinate, but as a co-ruler. He successfully converted the entire Northern Plains Heroes Assembly into his personal resource accumulation phase, and he reached the pinnacle of mortal power.
So, looking at the transformation of our key players, Feng Yuan achieved incredible success. He mastered aerial combat, he's at peak mortal cultivation. But the sources also highlight the heavy costs and flaws that were exposed during that final battle.
The cost of his newly adapted killer move, Forearm Earth King, was immense. When he used it while flying, he suffered heavy internal bleeding and severe soul weakening. He realized the Earth Overlord goo component was just fundamentally incompatible with aerial fighting.
So he has a new project.
An immediate, necessary refinement project. He has to adapt this killer move for any environment, or he risks severely damaging his foundation. On the soul front, though, he made great progress. He achieved a 30% Wolfman Soul foundation, but he knows he desperately needs the rank 5 Wolf Soul goo for faster, sustainable progress.
And what about the official Lord of the Imperial Court, He Lulan? He won the title, but Feng Yuan's power has completely overshadowed his own authority.
He Lulan is forced into the state of, well, frustrated acceptance. He won the grand prize, but he now relies completely on the Wolf King's strength to maintain his position and exploit the resources in the Blessed Land.
So he can't get rid of him.
His fury at Feng Yuan's arrogance has to be constantly suppressed, because removing Feng Yuan now is impossible without risking the total collapse of his faction. Feng Yuan is the monster he invited into his home.
Tai Baiyunsheng also emerges as this incredibly valuable and now targeted figure.
His reputation for benevolence and his demonstration of the miraculous rank 5 man as before goo make him instantly attractive to the supporting goo immortals. He Cheng and He Bai are already viewing him as a prime recruit. They're planning to observe and eventually forcefully incorporate him as a supreme elder of the He tribe.
His abilities are just too valuable to leave independent.
Exactly.
We also see the confirmation of those historical threads Feng Yuan remembers from his past lives. The key players of the next era, Ma Yingji and Zhao Liangyun, they survived the devastation.
Their presence is fascinating. They're reduced to small tribe status, but they survive and enter the Blessed Land alongside Ma Hongyan. Feng Yuan knows from his past life that Ma Hongyan is the one who eventually gets Giant Sun's true inheritance.
And Zhao Liangyun becomes an influential wisdom path immortal.
Right. So despite Feng Yuan's massive interventions, like completely annihilating the match tribe, these key figures are still in position. It suggests that history has this powerful inertia, and he now has to deal with the possibility that these fated events might still happen.
Let's summarize the gains and losses for the Northern Plains.
The He tribe inherits everything: manpower, territory, resources. Feng Yuan's personal gains are phenomenal. The rank 5 Refine Essence Spirit goo, which future-proofs his soul, and the rank 5 Amplify Effect goo, which is central to his offense.
But the loss.
The devastating loss is the massive culling of goo masters and mortals across the continent. This brutal thinning of the herd aligns perfectly with Giant Sun's objective to weaken the other tribes right before the big blizzard hits.
And Feng Yuan's shocking dual cultivation display, the Flying Strength Path Master, has put him directly in the crosshairs of the Immortals.
He is now a figure of intense active scrutiny. Goo Immortals He Cheng and He Bai no longer see him as a useful mortal pawn. They see him as an immortal seed, a potential future rank 6 goo immortal.
So they're planning to properly observe him inside the Blessed Land.
Which suggests their attempts at manipulation or recruitment are going to get much more aggressive and direct. Feng Yuan has reached peak mortal strength, but in doing so, he has become a visible, coveted chess piece in the immortal game.
The massive 60-meter-wide light gate is open. They're inside the Blessed Land. This is the moment they've all fought for. What is Feng Yuan's single most critical objective now?
His existential priority is not initially the mythical 88 True Yang building. His most critical, time-sensitive goal is seizing Tai Baiyunsheng's rank 6 landscape as before Immortal Go.
Wait, a rank 6 Immortal Goo? He's going to try and steal an Immortal Goo from a Time Path Master who is now surrounded by the He tribe and their mortal backers.
Wow.
Why that specific Goo?
He needs it to save Dang Hun Mountain. That mountain, his soul cultivation bedrock, is actively being corroded and killed by the Gruel Mud Immortal Goo. Only the rank 6 landscape as before Goo, which can restore a landscape to a previous healthy state, can save it.
So if he fails to get it,
his greatest resource will be destroyed and his path to future immortality will be crippled.
that is the ultimate high-risk, high-reward move. Stealing an Immortal Goo from a rank 5 peak master who's about to ascend himself while inside a blessed land controlled by the very immortals who are now scrutinizing him.
It forces him right onto the edge of the mortal-immortal boundary. Fang Yuan knows the extreme danger. He calculates his chance of success at a meager 20%.
20%.
He has to rely on his 500 years of experience, the resources he just got, and the chaos inside the 88 True Yang building itself to survive this. He views the imperial court not as a place for easy treasure, but as the arena for his greatest single act of theft and rebellion against fate yet.
It seems no matter how far he ascends, the fundamental struggle is always the same, an impossible choice he has to make to advance.
Yes, it's like that tale of Renzu's daughter, Desolate Ancient Moon. She was trapped, facing impossible odds, holding two rocks, one for success, one for failure, knowing that choosing failure meant death. Fang Yuan is now the mortal who's stronger than almost every other mortal, but he's still faced with this binary, high-risk choice that dictates his survival.
He has successfully become the strongest chess piece, but now the player is demanding he execute the checkmate move against the strongest piece on the other side.
Exactly.
The entire imperial court struggle became a victory lap for Fang Yuan, letting him accelerate his power to the absolute maximum mortal level. But he enters the blessed land having gone from a hunted, low-rank master to a figure of continental fear, all while wearing this massive target painted on him by Gu immortals.
The only thing that's certain is that Fang Yuan is ready to fight for control of his own destiny, even if it means fighting fate, history, and the highest-ranked powers in the land all at once.
So, here is the provocative question we leave you with. Fang Yuan has successfully navigated the mortal contest by treating others as disposable chess pieces. Now that he is inside the blessed land and deemed an immortal seed, what role does individual will truly play when the immortal powers are actively looking to recruit, manipulate, or control him? How far can the Wolf King go before he, too, becomes permanently controlled by the good immortals supporting him, or before history, which he sought to change, ultimately catches up to him?
The game of mortals is over. The game of immortals has just begun.
We'll find out next time on The Deep Dive.